Alright guys, what's up? This is Exodarren from PrimalWow. I'm just gonna be making a quick video regarding how to play Holy Paladin. Main reason why I'm making this video is because it seems like a lot of people have trouble with playing a Holy Paladin. They don't know how to play it. I've been having people sent to me asking like, yeah, how do I play? I don't understand how to play and I'm underperforming. Some people have suggested that I make this video, mainly because I have been playing Holy Paladin since the start of the server, so I've been raiding on this account for like at least 7 months or something, 6-7 months. So I've gotten a lot of experience over the course of all the months playing here, and as of now I've not seen any other Holy Paladin that has been able to really outperform me in anything. So that's why I'm making this video. And so if I'm going to explain everything about Holy Paladins, it's going to take me over an hour, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cover the real basics of rotation and gear and your stats, what's important, so you can just start somewhere basically. So something that I see a lot of Holy Paladins do is use Holy Light most of the time, and it's kind of annoying to see because they're like, yeah, Holy Light is the only thing that's useful, but it's actually not. The thing you want to go for, your rotation, is mainly going to be using your Flash of Light all the time, and I always use my Holy Shock as well. So what I usually do is do like 1 or 2 Holy Flash of Light pops, and then whenever my Holy Shock is off cooldown I use Holy Shock as well. The reason why Holy Shock is so good is because it's an instant cast. Because an instant cast, while you have to move around, you can still use it. It's also a buffer to your Flash of Light, so if you see someone very low, you can quickly use your Flash of Light and immediately pop your Holy Shock afterwards as well. This means that you can immediately pop 2 heals within 1.5 a second. So that's really useful. The only time I use Holy Light is if my Divine Favor is off cooldown, which guarantees it as a crit. That's the only time I use Holy Light, and I could go in depth on this, like a lot on all the little tricks and niches here and there on your rotation, but I won't do that. This is just a very quick video. So use your Flash of Light, your Holy Shock, whenever it's off cooldown or whenever someone needs that, and Holy Light whenever your Divine Favor is off cooldown. So now I'm quickly going over the talents. The talents I'm using currently, like, you start with your pushback, very important. You got your intellect right here, your Divine Intellect, extra healing on Holy Light, Flash of Light and Holy Shock, so that's important. Another thing, of course, you get your mana regain whenever you crit. In vanilla I heard it used to be 100%, but right now it's only 30%, but still really good. So I personally choose to go for Lay on Hands as well. It's only 2 points, reduced cooldown by 4 minutes, and it gives the user 20% reduced physical damage for 15 seconds. The next one, Improved Blessing of Wisdom, reduces or increases the effect, of course, of Blessing of Wisdom by 20%, and I'm going over the stats later why this is important. Then you get your Holy Power, extra crit, Divine Favor and Holy Shock. This is like Lay on Hands and Sanctified Light are 2 talents which you might want to use. They are not mandatory, but I felt like Sanctified Light and Lay on Hands were the best choices. Then you go into Retribution. This is a very important one, which reduces the cost of all instant spells, which is your Cleanse, your Holy Shock and your Judgment, which I should actually also go into a little bit later, why your judgment is also important. And the other two right here are crit. So basically this gives you 8% crit, these two. Something which is still really important to note, which is not really for Holy Paladins itself, but I have been considering getting Sanctified Retribution, which gives 3% increased damage to the whole raid, and also Improved Devotion Aura. There is a very good DPS pack on this, and this is something very useful for the raid. But if you are going for pure performance, like individual performance, then I would definitely say just go with this talent spec, because it's worked out the best for me so far, and I've tried out a lot of things, so I'd say go with this. So now I'm just going a little bit in on the why judgment is useful and why you want your judgment to have a lower cooldown, and why not go for improved Blessing of Might, for example. There is one very important thing. Let me just quickly going over the stats right here. Just pop up my gear right here. Your most important stat on this server is MP5, and after that intellect, not spell power. The reason is because the your healing in raids and in later dungeons is nerfed by around, I think, 70%. So that also means that your spell power is effectively reduced with 70%. I've tried this out and I've spoken about this with people, and spell power is highly nerfed. So that means that spell power is not the way to go right now. And also with the increased mana cost in certain raids on this server, spell power is still useful, but it's just not as good anymore. So you definitely want to go with MP5 and intellect. So yeah, MP5 very straightforward, gives you back mana, so that's your main stat. After that, intellect is also very important. There are multiple reasons why this is important. Intellect gives you crit. So yeah, you get some crit right there, so that's important. You get a higher mana pool from as well, and so I would advise against getting crit rating, because in comparison with raw intellect, it's not good enough. It just doesn't. It's just not as good as actual intellect. The reason is because an increased mana pool strengthens your Seal of Wisdom. And this is also why your judgment is important, because Seal of Wisdom basically returns 2% of your maximum mana. So this scales with your mana pool. So if you have the higher your mana pool, the higher the chance you get mana back on your auto attack. Your judgment also gives a chance on giving you mana back, because it is seen as an attack. So Seal of Wisdom can also proc from your judgment. So the reason why you get your 2-second decrease on your cooldown, I mean, on judgment, is so you can use it more often, which also means you have another chance on getting mana back. So after this, I think spell power is still useful. So you should still, if you have spell power on items, it's still very useful. So don't ignore a spell power, but always go for MP5 and intellect first. So yeah, just make sure that you don't go for items with only spell power or something like that, because it's just not good enough. It's not a good item. The other stats, so that is spirit, stamina, strength and agility, they are not important at all, especially agility and strength. They are both useless to you, which should be very straightforward as to why that is. Stamina is nice to have, but it's not super important. Most of your items already have stamina on them, so that should not really be a huge issue. And Spirit is not useful at all because it only gives you mana back outside of combat. So this stat doesn't help you at all within a fight. So Spirit is actually useless to you as well. If you really want extra mana out of combat, you just get some mana drinks from your mates and then you drink those instead. So don't get Spirit on your items either. So if you have any questions regarding more advanced stuff on Holy Paladins, then just look me up in game. I'm usually online in the evenings during server time, which is I think it's GMT +1. So if you have any questions, just look me up in game and you can find me there. So have a good one, guys. See you later.